Welcome back to the FanSpeak Network and another episode of the NFL Betting Card. I'm Meg. You can find me on Twitter at Megs08DFS. And I'm, of course, joined by Tyler Hicks and Spread Astaire every single Thursday at 3 p.m. Be sure to catch us live talking about the NFL Betting Card for that week. And so we are talking week 3 NFL bets. We will cover a little Thursday night football at the end of this show. So be sure to stay with us at the end of the show. We got some fun Thursday night bets for you. And if you're joining us, please be sure to like this episode, subscribe to the FanSpeak Network so you know when we're going live. But I'm super excited to talk to these guys about week 3. We don't necessarily have the most fun Thursday night game, but I think we have a fun week 3 slate that I can't wait to talk to these guys about. So let me go and talk to them first. Spread, how are you doing? And are you ready for some week 3 bets?
Meg, what is up? So excited to be here. I have a real good feeling about this week. As we're doing these projections, I think some things are still not being properly adjusted by the books here. And one thing I love about the popularity about all these NFL betting podcasts, I swear some of them just simplify it to where, like, if you bet a favorite, you're a square.
Right.
I mean, it almost feels like that. Oh, you're a square. You took the favorite. And I think that sometimes this has led to a lot of people just loving dogs in the NFL where they don't in other sports. Talking to my other friends that bet, a lot of favorites in MLB, a lot of favorites in NBA, right?
Right.
NFL has a little more underdogs. And I wonder how much of that is people just reinforcing that. And this is kind of a spoiler alert. We like a lot of chalk this week, Meg, so I can't wait to dive in and break it all down.
Well, I have, of course, already looked at the NFL treasure map. I need to mention 2 things before we get going on our, bets, because we cover all different types of bets on this show, and that's what makes it so fun. But before we do, be sure to check out Spread and Tyler's NFL treasure map. That's how they get there with their projections and models. That's how they get to these bets. And so you get to see the behind the scenes that all on FanSpeak right now. So right now, we'll try to get it on the homepage soon. But right now, if you click sports betting, it's at the top of the sports betting page. It's also linked on our NFL betting card page. Also, go check out the NFL betting card. Right now, we have some of the bets that are on the treasure map and some of the Thursday night bets. And we'll be getting some more Thursday night bets. We'll be getting some more week 3 bets up on the NFL betting card. So 2 things you want to check out on fanspeak.com is the NFL betting card and the treasure map that is fully done by Spread and Tyler. And
Meg, we need to start tweeting that out right when we've completed.
Yeah.
I mentioned to Tyler right before we went on.
That's a good call.
Of the about lines we put up, only one of them is a better line available.
Right.
1 or 2 of them, the line hasn't moved. And a lot of them, the lines moved a point in the direction that we were on. So we're going to have to make sure to get that out early.
That's a great call. We need to get that out early. Thank you. Right. Next week, we will get that out early. Make sure you guys see it. And you hopefully people will know to keep checking the treasure map, the NFL betting card, because the NFL betting card, I add bets in Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we will be adding that. So Clyde in the chat asked us, where can you find that? You can find that on fanspeak.com. And then on the homepage, NFL betting cards right down there under the articles. If you go sports betting, both the NFL betting card and the treasure map is there. So check that all out, but we will be sure to tweet that out right after you guys get the treasure map done and your projections done so that people can jump on those lines. Because like you said, line movement is key in sports betting. So that is an excellent point. So anyways, Tyler, let's go over to you. Good to see you again. And how are you doing? You ready for some week 3 action?
Yeah, I'm good, Meg. We had a good week too. I mean, that James Cook prop we gave up, that's smooth sailing all the way home.
Oh, yeah.
Buccaneers play we were on, that was smooth sailing also. So it was a good week too. We had some winners. I think we're going to find more winners in week 3. So I think we should just dive right into them.
Absolutely. Yeah, you guys crushed it. We had some fun. We did some well with some props. And so, let me give you the format of the show. If you haven't seen it before, we're going to go over Spread and Tyler's favorite spreads, any teasers they like, their favorite totals. We're going to go through Tyler and I's favorite props. Go over all of our favorite anytime touchdowns, because let's be honest, that's just a super fun market. And then we're going to go look at Thursday night football, check out first touchdown market for Thursday Night Football and build a little same game parlay. So that's what we got going. Let's dive right into it and get your guys' favorite spreads for the week. So I got to go to spread first for this one. What is your spread of the week spread?
All right, we talked about it at the top of the show. I think some of these favorites are being a little undervalued here as these bookmakers have yet to get into midseason form. And this is another game that I believe, if this is week 9 or week 10, this might be 8, 9.5 here. And I'm talking about the Miami Dolphins who are hosting the Denver Broncos. I am all out on the Denver Broncos. The idea when the Broncos, and this is what these windows are so short. These windows are so short in the NFL, and you see this is why teams make these home run swings. Unfortunately for the Broncos, it was a swing and a miss when they acquired Russell Wilson. And a big issue on this Denver Broncos team, I believe this defense is not nearly what it was 2 years ago when it led the league. This is a couple teams now that Vic Fangio has left, and he's left the top 5 defense. First, the Chicago Bears, right? Remember that great defense when they acquired Khalil Mack, one of the best defenses we've seen in the last 10 years? Then he goes to the Broncos, recreates that. Well, guess what team he's on now? The Miami Dolphins, going against his former team. And I know he's been away for a little bit, but he's still going to be familiar with some of those players and that regime. I believe this line should be on the other side of 7. It's -6.5 right now. And this is great, Meg, because this is one that hasn't moved.
That's great.
So we put it on the treasure map when we did that yesterday, and it's still at 6.5. And I think there's going to be some resistance because there's a lot of guys older than me. I know that's shocking to believe that people can outlive an old man like me, but they're going to grab the +7 almost every single time. So I think the 6.5 is going to be available to a kick. But this Miami Dolphins team, I believe, is being undervalued. They've looked to be the best team in the AFC so far this season, and they're going against a team, the Broncos, that really are a shell of themselves. So give me the Miami Dolphins -6.5.
I love that. Spread, I know you're in lockstep with that one, working with Tyler on the projection, or working with Spread on the projections. But Tyler, what is your favorite spread of the week?
Yeah, I'm going to go to a different game. We're going to head up to Detroit. Give me Detroit -3 playing that sorry Atlanta Falcons team. I know they're coming off the win over Green Bay, but Jordan Love, late mistakes, lost them that game. Ritter is just not a good quarterback. You've seen in that game, there was chances
he's not it. He's not it, yeah.
He just completely misses, guys. Now you're going to play an offense in Detroit. Amon-Ra St. Brown practiced today, which means he's likely to play. Their offense is going to be full go. They're going to put up points. I'm just not sure Atlanta's going to be able to keep up. Their running game, it'll do its damage on the ground, but I'm not sure it's going to be able to score 28 to 30 points, and I think Detroit gets into the 30s here. So give me Detroit -3 at home. I just think they're a way better team, and I think that Atlanta team's still overpriced in the market.
Yeah, I mean, Bijan looks explosive and is so fun to watch, but as a team, and Ritter is not it, he's not going to be able to keep up if they have to get away from that run script. So totally agree with that. I mean, let's
think about Ritter. He's been excellent in the fourth quarter. I'm trying to pull it up right now, and I don't have it. But if you had only his fourth quarter stats in there, his QBR is over 100.
Really,
it's the
Ritter.
First 3 quarters that really bring him down. Yeah, he's got a little.
Fred,
touch.
You're definitely a Ritter guy.
Why do you say that?
Because he is literally just a younger version of Jimmy G.
I don't know if he's that good looking.
We have Clyde in the chat. I need to know your guys' favorite football food to break up like this hardcore betting stuff. I'm boring. I'm pizza. What are you, Tyler?
Are we going like the actual meal part or just a snack?
Oh, he said food or snack. You could go either
way. Give me buffalo chicken dip.
Oh, that's a good one. All right, Spread. What's your favorite food or snack when you're watching a game?
Probably like kale.
Steak. It's steak all the time. I love it. That's so great. Okay, we've got the 2 favorite spreads. You got Miami.
Before you go into your pick, Meg, we have some news. It looks like Bryce Young's not going to play this week.
Wait, what? It's
going to be Andy Dalton week.
Andy Dalton, yeah. Fire up the what defense are they going against?
Seattle.
Fire up the Seahawks defense.
We already bet that, Tyler.
I wouldn't fire up their defense that fast.
I mean, Andy Dalton, remember that showdown game last year where you played the Cardinals defense and Andy Dalton, and that was like the key to the showdown. But well, thank you for the breaking news. And again, be sure to check out all these guys' bets on the NFL betting card. But we just went through their favorite spreads. Now let's talk spread or any teasers that you like this week.
Tyler, why don't you take it away? You had 2 teasers there, but
okay, you take this.
I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I was setting up for one more. I want to give out one more spread play.
Okay,
here,
yeah.
Tyler, do the teaser first. What did you circle here this week as the best teaser plays?
Yeah, the first one I bet was I took your Miami -6.5, paired it with Buffalo, and knocked that down to just both teams to -0.5 point, and they got to win those games. I think they both win those games. The other one I liked was taking Baltimore from 8-2 and those Seahawks down from 6 to a pick 'em. But I'm not sure if you're going to be able to get that one as of now with the Andy Dalton.
It's still up on Bookmaker right now.
Yeah, if it's still I
Seahawks
like that
are 6.5.
Yeah, I like that one. The other one I was eyeing up spread. I don't know how you're going to feel about this one. I think you're going to be on the other side of me. I think we have to tease Chargers up. I think they win the game. I think getting them above a touchdown.
I like that.
Are you getting 1.5?
Yeah.
I only have 1.
Yeah, I'm getting 1.5.
Yeah, at 1.5, I will go with you either way on that game.
Yeah, that's the ones I like.
I mean, if the Vikings, if you got them up to 7.5, I'd have to go for that too. So
I also don't mind teasing up the Titans because I don't think the Browns blow them out. Getting them at around 10 points would be a solid one, I think.
Oh yeah, I like that a lot. Absolutely, because I saw that on the betting card too, and I like that a lot. So, okay, so you got the guys' favorite spreads. You got the teasers. Now, and listen, I'm sitting out the spreads and the teasers because, like you stay in your lane, your strengths and weaknesses, and, spreads and teasers are not my strength. I love props. I love the anytime touchdown market. Those are my things. And so that's where I'm going to focus, and I'll jump in there, I promise. But let's go over to totals. I saw that there were 2 X marks the spot on the NFL treasure map that I put into the betting card. So let's hear them, guys. Spread, what is your favorite total you're targeting this week?
All right, hold on. Let me put. I'm freezing.
Oh, you were going to give a bonus spread too. I'm
All right,
sorry.
yeah. Let me do that while I'm pulling up everything else here.
Give the bonus spread pick.
I think there's a great matchup here. It's in Green Bay, a team coming off a loss against the Atlanta Falcons. But we talked about how that was a tough matchup. That was a tough matchup for Green Bay, going against the most run-heavy team in the NFL with the explosive plays of Bijan Robinson. Now they head back home and they're taking on the New Orleans Saints, who are 2-0. So they've had 2 wins, but I haven't been too impressed with them in this win. I think it's a great chance for the Packers to get back on track. I made this line about 2.5. So the fact that it's only -1, I like the Packers a lot here to get it done.
Okay, I like the bonus pick. And let's see, Clyde in the chat he meant to say Bills, but he's got Chiefs, Dolphins, Bills as teaser. So he's jumping in on the teasers. I like it. Tyler, I'll go over to you. What's your, and then I'll go back to spread. What's your favorite total on the board this week, Tyler?
You're muted, Tyler.
Oh, there you go.
Hang on, my computer's freezing up. Too many things going on.
Yeah, we all got too much stuff open.
Total-wise, I'm probably going to default to the Chargers and Minnesota game. I usually leave totals to our guys spread over there. So that my favorite one, definitely that one. I think both offenses just put it on each other. Mm-hmm. Both teams get into the high 20s. That'd be my favorite total.
Yeah. I mean, we got a great game script for it too, right? I don't think the Vikings defense is very good. That means the Chargers are going to put up points. But what else are the Chargers going to do? They're going to find in a creative and awesome way to blow the game.
Exactly.
And in that fashion, that's going to allow the Vikings to go over. Meg, I like an over in a game that you might give us some insight knowledge on, and that's the Bills and the Commanders. That's right. We talked about Josh Allen last week, whether or not he's going to be elite, but it looks like unless he's going against the very best teams, he's going to be able to do it. And then we also talked about Sam Howell coming into his own against the Bills defense that has been all right. It's been all right, but let's see how they do on the road against a team really coming to its own. This total is only 44. I like this game to go over the Bills and the Commanders.
Yeah, and I just saw a stat. I believe it was Warren Sharp put out about or maybe it was Rich Rebar on Sharp Football, but it was talking about Sam Howell against zone defense, and Bills play mostly zone defense, and he's just been picking apart zone defense and has a very high QBR against zone defense and completion rate and advanced stats. So that is something to consider. I do think Washington can keep this one close. That's the homer in me. The only fear that I'm now worrying about the total is it going to come down because of the weather concerns? We're having like some kind of tropical storm that's hitting. I think it's 3 stadiums that are going to be affected: Baltimore, Washington, and New York Jets. Is just keep an eye on the storm. And that literally has just kind of been, coming to light in the last day or two as far as weather. So that would be the only thing I'm getting nervous
and
is
how
how severe.
Totals moved down a point.
Yeah. Okay. So we just
moved against us, but that wasn't a market move. That was an information move.
Yeah. So this is just purely information, which I didn't realize. I knew there was a chance for rain, but I didn't realize what we were dealing with here. And hopefully it's something that, we're still.
Sometimes rain can help an office, Meg.
That's true.
I know if you're covering me, I know where I'm going. You don't. Could see some defensive backs slipping around here. I don't know if this is a great trend either, because how often does Buffalo travel to Washington? But 5 of the last 6 games in Washington facing Buffalo have gone over.
Okay.
Be curious to see how far that dates back. What do you guys play every 3 or 4 years?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's only,
that might be like a 24 years.
And then the AFC, and then switching locations. I was actually at the last Washington Buffalo game because I have friends who are diehard Bills fans, and I went to an away Washington game and went there, and that was 3 years. That was in 19. So yeah, it's like every 6 years that they're coming. Actually, I was at and it was actually a rain-soaked game. I can remember this vividly. The day after, or not, it was the first game after Sean Taylor's passing. We played Buffalo Bills, and it was raining, but like everybody, it was so emotional. That's the only time I've seen, so I'm sure it's been, I want to say when you're dealing with the AFC and the NFC, I want to say it's like every 6 years. So yeah, it's not, but I mean, still that is something to consider. Yeah. If we can, what do they always say? It's like more the winds than the rain.
I think the wind is the worst.
It's the wind. It's the winds that really kill the offense and affect the totals, so it's the wind that we actually really need to watch on that one. So I just wanted to bring that up, but if there isn't wind, I agree. I think points can be scored. I believe in this Washington defense. Of course, you got like Homer alert flashing, but I believe in this. I believe in the Washington defense, but I believe in the Washington offense and Sam Howell. I've been very impressed, and I've been very impressed with Eric Bieniemy as an offensive coordinator. I was very hopeful about that, but it is a creative offense that I as a fan have not seen in a while. So exciting stuff, and I think hopefully as long as those winds stay down, we can get some points. So okay. Did you want to talk through a game that Tyler and I don't agree on spread?
I'll set the table for you guys.
Okay, set the table.
The Las Vegas Raiders are at home. This line was -1.5 yesterday. It's out to -2.5. They host the Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course, the Steelers short week coming off the Monday Night Football win. But in the win, right? Was it Kenny Pickett's best performance? I believe he had -7 yards on offense in the fourth quarter. Yet the team was able to get a come from behind victory upon the strength of their defense. Strength of their defense is something that us Raiders fans have not talked about for years and years and years, and probably since before I was born. We've got a really bad offense going against a very movable defense. Meg, Tyler liked the Raiders. Why don't you let everyone know why you like the Steelers and you think that we might be walking into a trap?
Yeah. So first of all, I want to give the disclaimer that I am fully on Matt Canada should be fired as the Steelers offensive coordinator train. Fully on that. Have a lot of Steelers best ball shares. Have a lot of Steelers friends like Tyler, and I want to see them happy. And Matt Canada needs fired. He's awful as an offensive coordinator. However, they did go up against 2 of the top defenses in the league in the 49ers and the Browns. Number 1. Number 2, you mentioned it, the strength of their defense. So I believe that TJ Watt and the defense is going to give Jimmy G problems, even on the road, and make his life hell. And then therefore, I don't think Kenny Pickett is going to have to put up any kind of insane line, but he's also going against a much weaker defense in the Raiders this week. The DVOA matchups for both, the rushing game and the passing game. And Pickens looked really explosive. And I know it wasn't an impressive performance overall, but there were a couple connections between Pickett and Pickens that were very, very explosive and very fun to watch. So if they can get a little more of that going against a weaker defense in the Raiders, I think it'll be close, but I think the Steelers pull out a win on the road with the strength of their defense and just the benefit of going up against a little weaker defense this week. Tyler?
Yeah, Tyler, Raiders 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 against Pittsburgh. Why do you think that continues?
Yeah, I mean, you just look at the matchup. I get it. Pittsburgh's defense is good. Their offense has had one play in 2 games that resulted in positive yards or any kind of just positive gain or a touchdown. And it was a 70-yard touchdown play to a wide-open Pickens that the cornerback forgot to cover him on. They scored 2 defensive touchdowns in that game last week. I don't think they had any business winning that game. You're never going to luck box 2 defensive touchdowns every week. The running game for the Raiders, Josh Jacobs should have his way. No one in that secondary is going to be able to cover Devontae Adams. Jacoby Myers will also be back by then from concussion protocol, so he'll have an extra weapon running around. I don't think Jimmy G is going to need all that much time for these guys to separate. So I don't think the pressure is going to be much of a factor here because I don't think he's going to be standing back there for very long before he has to get rid of it. And the Steelers just do not travel well going west, especially to go play the Raiders. The Raiders have had their number since spread could probably tell you since long before I've been alive. They always beat the Steelers. There's been times where the Steelers have been 6-point favorites in this game, Meg. They're kicking a field goal to win the game. The kicker slips. He just didn't kick the ball, and they just lose the game outright. Just little weird things happen in this matchup. I think Devontae Adams just scorches the defense, and the offense is just putrid. I don't think they do anything, even versus a weak defense like that. I think the Raiders win the game by at least a field goal.
Well, if you told me it was low scoring now, this was in the snow, but remember the game last year? I know I was sweating out. I remember this clearly because I was sweating out the best ball semifinals. Steelers pulled out like a very narrow victory, but it wasn't at like 13-10 or something.
Yeah,
in the snow
that was
on Christmas Day.
That wasn't even just snow, Meg. That was like
wind and snow?
It was like I forget what they called it, but it was like an Arctic something. And the wind chills had us in like the negative 20s to 25s. Like when you went outside, it was like it's cold, but this is like the cold where it hurts. Like
it hurts to be outside. Yeah, it was so sad because it was after Franco's passing. They were honoring him, and it was just like everybody just looked like they were frozen ice there.
That was the other thing. You had the built-in immaculate reception narrative,
right? Yeah.
Then they win the game by a field goal.
Yeah, it was so close. And I mean, for me, I needed people to not go off in that game, and it worked out for me that it was Arctic weather that kept the scoring down in that game. I will say though, Josh Jacobs. I mean, are we a little concerned about that? Maybe the holdout, he just looks a little rusty, like a little.
He definitely looks a little rusty. I agree there.
Yeah.
Week 3's got to be at a point where some of that rust starts to fall off, right? Last week, he just didn't get a chance to run. I mean, I think the Bills scored on every possession they had the ball outside of the first possession. So It's like he just had no use last game. I just don't see the Steelers getting a lead like that. So I think he's going to be a big part of their offense. And then the moment they pull it out of his gut and they throw it, it's going to be Devontae Adams running wide open.
I mean, Devontae Adams scares the hell out of me. That's for sure in betting the Steelers. That is 100% definitely a fear for me. But yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not scared of the Vegas D. I'm very interested to see what the Steelers offense does in their first matchup that's not challenged, like not heavily challenged by
also their first road game this
year,
Meg.
That's true. They were at home, both
very young team, dropping them in Vegas for a weekend. They don't got to play till the night game. Some guys might be stumbling around that field that night.
I don't know, spread. So what side do you come on this one?
I think it's rough. Tyler convinced me.
I mean, you're the fan.
Raiders
You're the Raiders
yesterday.
fan.
Tyler did
pick a side
convince
here.
me. All right.
I'm making you pick a side here because it's
I already bet the Raiders when we talked about
your
it.
favorite team, and it's the coach that you probably have a poster of on the wall behind you.
I wish I did. If someone sends me one, I'll put it up.
I'm gonna get you a poster of when he makes that face when they're just losing by like 30, and he's just like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna stand here and look all confused.
Yeah, I'll have to go with the Raiders here as well. But Meg, it's a tough game. You bring up a good point as far as the lowering the difficulty level on playing the defenses, right? You're going from all Madden to rookie here going against this defense. So let's see how this team looks. One thing I love the conversation in the breakdown on the Josh Jacobs deal.
Yeah.
It's just more, to me, further illustration on why these running backs are never going to get paid. There's no position in sports that's more dependent on your teammates for your production.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're getting tackled 1 yard from, he had so many negative runs.
Speaking of
running back, all be on him, right? I mean, it means that they didn't do his job if they're allowing the defenders in the backfield that easily. But with no blocking, you're not going to get things done. Cam Hayward's been big for that run defense. He wasn't there. And I mean, who knows what would have happened if Chubb would have stayed in that last game.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, hey, it's going to be a great game.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go for my Raiders, but boy, I can't believe none of you guys mentioned the crazy coaching mismatch. I mean, we have one of the greatest coaches of all time, Tyler.
I'm on the Steelers side, and how did I
going against the guy that's going to get fired?
One of the greatest coaches of all time, spread. He's won like 3 playoff games.
But Tyler, you are so lucky as a Steelers fan. He has never had a losing season in 16 years. As a Washington fan, if you said you get to have a coach that has no matter
it's like a gift and a curse, Meg, because there's times where you look at the team and it's like this team ain't winning anything, and it's like, but they're also not going to get a good enough draft pick to get anything.
I know, but that's what I mean. Like, he always has you guys competitive, and I know, like times like last year, it's like, yeah, even if you're not going to go anywhere.
There were certain years where it was like, can we just bottom out? Like 2 years ago, for instance, it was like we probably should have sent Ben home, bottomed out, and just grabbed one of the good quarterbacks. I think it was 3 or 4 years ago where Ben blew his elbow out. Mason Rudolph died on the field.
I remember that.
We're sending a guy out called Duck Hodges, and it's like, can we just stop and just get a good draft pick?
Yeah. Yeah. When you had Ducky Hodges, and you're still won some games with Duck Hodges. So come on. I mean, all right. Spread, I messed up because I did not bring up the most important
That should have been the lead.
That should have been, the coaching mismatch and Mike Tomlin, because I'm a big Mike Tomlin.
What do you think of McDaniels overall? Because you're an unbiased here.
Yeah, kind of meh is probably my, do you
think he'll be gone by the end of the year?
Assuming you guys don't have
probably going to get to 7 or 8 wins, I feel like.
Yeah, like if you're in that purgatory range, I don't know if they'd give him one more year. But most likely, probably if you have a losing record, he's gone. So, all right, it's time to get to props, guys. This is one of my favorite things to talk about. I love the props market. I think we were 5-2 on the betting card. You talked about the James Cook. That was awesome. We crushed on Mike Evans line, went like triple. So we Keenan Allen line. I'm trying to remember the other ones we hit. They had like 4 or 5. It was 5-2, I believe, on the betting card last week. So let's run it back. Tyler, give me your favorite prop that you like this week. And I know it's early, more props are released later in the week, but what are you liking at this point?
I'm going to go with it's probably a little off the radar. I don't think many people are going to target this guy. Okay. Everyone's going to want to go to the wide receiver 1 here, but he's going to be in a tough matchup. Michael Thomas over 55.5 receiving yards. Matched up with Green Bay's number 2 corner. He gets a lot of looks, even with Olave running all these good routes and him being the number 1. But he's going to draw Jari Alexander here. Carr probably clears 200-plus passing yards in this matchup, regardless of win or loss. At 55, and the dude's going to see 7-plus targets, I'll take a shot there. I think he can find some open space, get you above 60 yards in this game. Hell, if Olave's in a blanket, he might get you above 100 yards in this one.
Olave could be in a blanket because Jair Alexander is no joke. That is for sure. I have no shame in my game. I'm running it back. with Keenan Allen because, again, I think this was I was listening to Rich Rebar from Sharp Football analysis breaking down Keenan Allen and how he just destroys zone coverage. And Minnesota has been running a ton of zone coverage. And so anytime you got Keenan Allen in zone looks, you want to target him. He absolutely blew past his line last week, which we had. And I think he's going to blow past it again against this Vikings, which we, again, think of this game is going to be a shootout. I think Keenan Allen's going to be a big part of that again. Kellen Moore has been using him like CD Lamb. I mean, he's been being used very differently this year. And his ADOT's a lot longer, a lot bigger this year. All his metrics are up this year. So why are we going away from it? The line is 75.5. I'll probably honestly alt it to 80, but I like that. Again, I think that before you loved Keenan Allen's receptions, that slot receiver role, but the ADOT wasn't really there. Now the ADOT is there with Keenan Allen. And so he can get you the 100 yards. And so I would gladly take 76 or 80. So that's my favorite prop of the week. Any others you like before we hit the anytime touchdown market?
Nope, that's it for me on that one.
All right.
I wouldn't mind dabbling back in the James Cook rushing and receiving prop. I will say that. I think that number's still too low. He's going to get all the looks out of the backfield. And if he rushes for 50-plus yards, you should be golden on a 78.5.
Yeah, and I think that's what's key this early in the season, right? Is like this early in the season, like the Mike Evans line last week, like the James Cook line, like the Keenan Allen line, like the Deebo Samuel. These lines this early in the season, we talk about the market's not adjusting, especially on props where there's so many props to adjust to. When they're not adjusting quick enough to what their role is, how it's different with the new offensive coordinator, those kind of things, how their utilization. It's like a lot of these lines are just still too low. So let's just go back to the well, right? So I like going back to the well on James Cook. I like going back to the well on Keenan Allen. I'm going to go to you first, Tyler, on the anytime touchdowns. Actually, all three of us are going to do these, but I'll go to you first, Tyler. Give me your favorite anytime touchdown. This is a fun market. Well, who's your favorite anytime touchdown scorer this week?
We're going to go to rookie this week, Meg. We're going to go to that Seattle-Carolina game.
I like it.
Give me Jackson Smith and Jigba here.
Okay.
They say he's got the highest separation yards of any wide receiver in the league. So he's getting open. Seattle offense started to pick it up last week against the Lions. He got some looks in that game. But this matchup here, Carolina's already down J.C. Horn, so they're not going to be able to cover any of these three wide receivers. And this dude's going to be running all over the field. I think they score 30-plus points here. I think he gets his first touchdown of the year here versus Carolina, and you're getting right around 3-1 on that. So I will take a shot on the rookie here.
I like it. Shot on the rookie for Tyler. Spread, I'll go to you. Anytime touchdowns. Who are you liking this week?
Let's head to a team that I think is going to really falsely up their net rating this week by stomping the Indianapolis Colts. That's the Baltimore Ravens. The biggest bullies in the NFL. Nobody loves running up against the score against an overmatched opponent than Harbaugh and the Ravens. And I believe that'll lead Mark Andrews to getting into the end zone. He's plus 110 over on Bet Online. I think you can go a lot of ways with this Ravens team. I think they're really going to run up the score here against the Colts. But let's go with the safest play, and that's Mark Andrews.
Just remember, Spread, that was one of the stadiums she marked as that was going to hit by that storm. Because I was eyeing up Zay Flowers, but that's what made me jump to Jackson Smith was the possibility that game is just in a torrential downpour. And it's impossible to throw the ball, and they're just running around a mud field.
Yeah, we have to switch it to Lamar Jackson then.
Hey, yeah, he had a couple runs near the goal line the last week, didn't he?
I don't hate it.
He's actually the highest favored. Him and Gus Edwards are at minus 112.
Oh, gotcha. Well, if you want to have a backup with Lamar, that's fine.
Let's switch it then.
I say you stay with Mark Andrews. And if Sunday morning we get there and it's like you look at how they show you the stadium before the game starts.
Yeah.
They show you the stadium and it just looks like it's going to be a mud bath. It's like, let me cash this one out, get on Lamar Jackson and Gus Edwards, and they're just going to run the ball all game.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true. These are just things you are going to have to watch because those three stadiums, they're going to be covering that no matter what, just based on the news now. They're going to be covering it, whether it clears or if it does turn out to be terrible. Clyde said, I think every week this one is absolutely live with the tush push. Give me Hurts anytime touchdown. He is on Monday night against the Bucks, but I think any week Jalen Hurts is absolutely live for anytime touchdown.
How do you think it feels to be the nose tackle when they line up in that position and it's like they're coming right at me, and there ain't nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, this is great. Yeah. Because again, I watched this on Pat McAfee. I think I brought this up before, but they had the one offensive lineman break it down and said it's just anchored by Jason Kelce in that offensive line. And Jason Kelce as the center is like the anchor for, yes, Jalen Hurts is so strong and, not taking anything away from him. But yeah, Jason Kelce,
my favorite are the people that are like, they have to ban that play because it's like cheating and it's basically like a rugby play.
I have said that before.
And then you watch the Colts try to do it in week 1 on the 1 yard line and they got Anthony Richardson hurt. It was like, oh, it's almost like not everybody can run this play.
Well, that's why, it is dangerous. I will say, luckily Hurts has stayed healthy in those plays. But I heard a stat this summer in talking about like Hurts and some of the fields and some of these rushing quarterbacks about, and this is goes back to just, I always bring it back to basketball, but don't worry, I'll make it quick, that, some of these rushing quarterbacks, you do worry because they are rushing near the goal line, that Andy Reid, this was John Daigle, 4 for 4, talked about how Andy Reid, since Mahomes busted his kneecap, that one, I think it was like a Thursday night, it was an island game where he busted his kneecap trying to rush at the goal line. Since then, which I think that was 18 or 19, the last 3 or 4 years, there's only been, now he scrambles a lot. We know Mahomes scrambles a lot and just will, do whatever he has to do. But there's only been 6 design runs in 3 or 4 years for Mahomes for that very reason. I'm going to keep my $500 million quarterback safe.
Of course.
So, it is risky and, but the tush push has worked.
Listen, some guys like Hurts master the tush push. Other guys like Mahomes master that tiptoe the sideline.
That's true. He has mastered the tiptoe the sideline.
The moment the guys touch him, he just flails out onto the sideline, slides on the ground, gets an extra 15 yards.
Yep.
So they all have the plays they like to beat the rules with.
You guys can help me decide between, I've got 2 I like. I've got a lot I like.
Which is me and you now, Meg. I think Fred's computer froze up.
Yeah. We were all having internet issues today. We'll get this worked out. But I have 2 that I like. And again, I have more that I'll probably narrow down what will actually be the official ones on the NFL betting card. But 2 I want to mention that I was trying to decide between for today's show. I do not like the Deshaun Watson led offense, and especially without Chubb. However, Tennessee Titans is an absolute pass funnel. So I'm very nervous about this line, but it seems too good. Amari Cooper plus 230 in a Titans defense is an absolute pass funnel. What do you think about that? I'm just thinking about this one because I have another one.
My worry though is he came down. I think he was dealing with the groin injury before the Steeler game.
Right.
Everyone thought he wasn't going to play. He plays.
Right. And
he's also dealing with a shoulder injury on top of it.
Okay.
So it's just one of those things now you're just adding up injuries. It's a great number. So it's you're a wide receiver 1.
Exactly.
It would just suck. Drive 1, 4 targets. They're going in and it's there he goes limping to the sideline or holding the shoulder.
Yeah, that's what's tough. Yeah, that's what it was, is the wide receiver 1 against the pass funnel defense and a great number at plus 230. That's why I was thinking about it, but I have hesitations. I mean, Deshaun Watson does not look good as a thrower. There were concerns last season. It has carried over to this season.
There's ever a time where it's you better show it now and you better give us a reason to give you all this money. It's right now.
It's right now against the Titans pass defense. Yeah, because you don't run on them, you pass on them. So I'm going to give
players at home.
I'm going to give you guys another one. And this is a name you've heard before, and it's a name that broke my heart last week. But he's still plus odds, and that's Calvin Ridley plus 120 against the Texans. Texans are going to be without Derek Stingley Jr., I believe. And, I just like a bounce back spot. He's healthy. I know he ran into the goalpost and, I was shocked that he got shut down last week, but Lawrence had no time to throw. And so they were doing a lot of manufactured, plays to Kirk, and Kirk was getting all the reception. So I got hurt bad on the Calvin Ridley line. That was definitely a prop that did not hit for me last week, and hurt a couple parlays too. But I'm going back to the well on Ridley. Again, I think this guy's the alpha. I think he's not priced high enough on lines and touchdowns yet. And so if you're giving me Ridley against the Texans defense with Stingley out at plus 120, that's going to be my favorite bet of the week. What do you think about it? So you like that one better than the Cooper one? Okay, yeah. So
another wide receiver I like, just because, I mean, you see these guys scream at the quarterbacks and the coaches, then they get their targets and they get their chances. Well, A.J. Brown screamed at Jalen Hurts. He got his chances, but they didn't convert.
Right.
Be damn sure he's getting more chances on Monday night. Plus 135 to get in the end zone. I can see him getting in there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Another island game. Yeah, a little squeaky wheel narrative. I'm agreeing with you there. Well, hopefully Spread can get back in with us, because we're about to talk Thursday night football. We don't have a great game tonight because Saquon Barkley is out. I believe Andrew Thomas, their offensive lineman, is out. There's some defensive pieces that are going to be out for the Giants. We talked about this on the Sibling Showdown, which is up on the FanSpeak Network. Check it out. My brother and I broke down the showdown because I know in chat, our guy Tim mentioned a DFS call. So check out DFS related showdown stuff. Sibling Showdown, we broke it all down for tonight's showdown against the Giants 49ers, and I will soon have a showdown survey up on fanspeak.com right after the show. But for this game, I think it's going to, I don't know about you, Tyler, but I don't think it's going to be pretty. I think it's going to be a blowout. I think it could be very similar to the first week Cowboys Giants, where 49ers don't have to do a lot. 49ers defense is probably going to do plenty. So I have a couple interesting first touchdowns, but I wanted to talk first touchdowns first. But before we get into that, hopefully Spread can join us. Oh, there he is. He was waiting backstage. That's my bad. Sorry, Spread. You're waiting backstage and I'm yapping. I'm so sorry.
No, don't apologize. My computer just shut down.
All the way down?
Flood of news that Trayvon Diggs injured in practice.
Oh, injured in practice, really?
Yeah.
Left on crutches.
Yeah, left on crutches. So many people were messaging me with the news to how to update our projections. What do you think, Tyler? Does this matter going into this? What are they, 13-point favorites?
I don't know, but they just took one of my players off my highest scoring fantasy football player on my team.
What, you have a defensive player?
Dallas defense.
Oh, Dallas defense. Okay.
Scored 35 points in week 1. I think they scored double digits again last week.
Yeah.
Gotta have one bright spot on my season-long fantasy team. It might just be the defense.
There you go.
Oh, God, that's terrible. Okay, well, we did get, okay, so yeah, we got the anytime touchdown for you. So we're talking about Thursday night football. So, Tyler, any first thoughts or any just general thoughts, and then who's your first touchdown pick?
I mean, it lines up where San Fran just kind of rolls in, just goes through the motions, and they kind of walk to like a 28-16, 17 victory. I'm not laying the 10.5. I think it's too many points. I could see you getting backdoored late. Just for instance, like that score I just said, they get to about 28 and they're hanging around at like 16, 17 and they're driving. It's like, they're going to cover this spread. I think they go away from CMC a little bit. He touched the ball so much in week 1 and week 2.
Yeah.
Shanahan's even made comments. He's like, we have to get the ball in other guys' hands. We do not want to kill him this early in the season. So I think you see some Mitchell, but I also think it just kind of falls and they just look at Debo and they're like, are you ready to have one of those games? And I think he just goes out, dominates his team. But the other guy I think has a good day through the air is Kittle. I don't think they have a guy on that Giants defense who can be able to cover Kittle. I think he finds the end zone, and that'll be my first touchdown pick. I think he goes in first. I think it's a little play action pass. He hits a little chip block and just fans out into the corner and catches the end zone touchdown pass.
All right. I like it. So Tyler's got George Kittle. First touchdowns are so fun to sweat. So we have to do a first touchdown for Thursday night football. So Tyler's got George Kittle. Spread, what do you think about tonight's game? And who's your first touchdown pick?
Meg, I wanted to bet the Giants so bad here.
I
wanted to take these points so bad. Saquon gets hurt. Okay. Now I'm trying to convince myself to do it, right? I can do this, right? Running backs don't matter, even though it's BS. But okay, all right. I could still do this, right? You know which one got me off it though? Was the left tackle Andrew Thomas?
Yep.
I just think that's too much.
That's big against this 49ers pass rush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the Giants look good against Arizona last week, but in the second half, so
I was gonna say
two of good 8 quarters so far of football. And they're going against a much tougher defense. Oh my gosh. So I'm off this game as far as the side.
Yeah.
I really wanted to take the Giants though. I really did. I just can't get there with Andrew Thomas being out going against this defensive line. So sucks for me. Won't have any full game action.
Right.
Maybe jump in. I don't know. What do we do with that live, Tyler? How about this, Tyler? Let's go to my anytime touchdown pick, and then I'm going to ask you what your live play would be.
I was going to say, you got to give me your first touchdown, which also would be an anytime.
I went chalky the first 2 weeks, right? St. Brown got it done for me.
Yep.
And then I believe I had Hurts last week.
Yep.
And
which he didn't get first, but he got anytime. But he got anytime.
But this is first. I'm going with the man that really was the key. It's bad.
It's bad, Tim.
And there's a right tackle too. He's just not an all-pro, right, Meg?
I can't remember as well. I can't remember. Yeah, I believe so. And then they're missing
downgrade
on defense too.
They're missing one of their best edge rushers.
Yeah.
Who are they missing on the D line?
He's a what? Oh, I can't pronounce his name.
Owe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I know that's how you say his last name is Owe. I'm not butchering the first name.
Okay, I was gonna try the first name, and I was like, I'll stop.
A top pass rusher. Okay, yeah. So boy, this 10.5. But Tyler, let's just say that for whatever reason I catch this, and I'm gonna take Jalen Hyatt plus 4,500. And here's my idea here. He was the man that really sparked this deal, right? And I'm already going for a long shot here. Like, let's say I want to go chalky. They've taken away my chalk. I mean, McCaffrey's only plus 275. This isn't any time.
You want an even better laugh, Fred? You want an even better laugh? Go look at his 2 touchdown line.
His 2 touchdown line. Yeah, I was dying.
For McCaffrey?
Yeah. I've never seen a 2 touchdown line in the 100s.
If I can find an under 1.5 touchdowns on him tonight, I would bet it.
It's wild. I mean, he's minus McCaffrey, who, he's insane, but he's minus 260 anytime touchdown. Yeah, try to guess his 2 touchdown spread. I
mean, I would say minus 130.
No, it's not mine, but it's in the 100. It's plus 190 for 2 touchdowns. I mean, I've never seen a 2 touchdown in the 100s. That's pretty wild. Yeah, that's just wild. So your first touchdown is Jalen Hyatt. Then
he's plus 4,500, and I got to take a swing at some point this season, Meg. And I thought he was the reason they won that game. I felt that he gave them some juice. I felt like he gave Daniel Jones some confidence, and you saw some of that swagger start to come back. And it was all because of him. And sometimes you need that. You need a guy that is overconfident, and that's why we love young teams, right? They don't know they're supposed to lose.
Yeah.
Give me some Jalen Hyatt here, plus 4,500. Let's just say I hit it, Tyler. Humor me for a second here. Now the Giants are ahead 7-0 or 7-3. What would your live play be? Would you try and jump in on the Niners? Assume it's 7-0. They're minus 6.5.
It ain't.
Would you jump in there?
If it gets to 6.5, yes, but it ain't getting a 6.5 spread.
Even off a
if the Giants went out, if the first 3 plays of the game played out like this, kickoff to the Giants, touchback, Daniel Jones drop back, play action, corner slips, safety's nowhere to be found. Hyatt runs to the end zone for a 75-yard touchdown. They're up 7-0. I think your live line is 8.5.
No way. You think they'd only move it 2?
I think they are that confident that the 49ers just bounce right back into the game that they are not letting you get under a touchdown.
All right, let's just say McCaffrey opens up at 7-0 San Francisco. My point is, how many points would I have to give you to take the Giants live? 17? 24?
24. It's one of those things, like if you gave me 17 and they lost 30-10, It really surprised you?
That's why I like talking about these things
Yeah.
too. I think you have to take these spots because when you're seeing a team play bad, it's hard to actually do it.
Yeah.
So you have to convince yourself before the game, this is where I'll jump in at, because it's so assume the 49ers open up, take the kick, go right down the field, right? Efficient drive for Purdy. He's 7 of 8. McCaffrey runs it in from 5 yards in. It's going to be hard to place that Giants bet. So I want to think
the Giants
about the possible
will score a very, very dumb touchdown in this game. Whether it's a 80-yard bomb to a wide open guy, Purdy slips and the ball's rolling across the ground and somebody picks it up and runs it in. He just makes a terrible throw, which we've yet to see him really do. So that's the least likely. Or they just run a kick or a pump back or block a field goal. But I think they're going to score a dumb touchdown in this game.
Yeah, they'll get points. It just won't be many. And Tim and Chad asked about the 49ers defense, and that'll lead into my first touchdown. One of them. I got one wild, one safer, just sprinkling on it. 49ers defense, definitely still a dominant defense. Their first 2 weeks have showed that. And, Nick Bosa, obviously, in that pass rush is nothing to mess around with. And again, with Giants having Andrew Thomas and other offensive linemen out, give me the 49ers defense as my first touchdown as the wild one. That's a wild one. That's plus 3,100 49ers defense first touchdown. It's happened in the Steelers game. It happened against these Daniel Jones led Giants, I believe, in the Cowboys game, if I'm correct. So we've seen a couple first touchdowns for the defense, and I like it to potentially happen here tonight. I'm going to sprinkle on that, but I'm also going to sprinkle on the guy that Tyler mentioned. Give me Deebo Samuel plus 600. So I've got 2 little sprinkles. I really think this could be a Deebo game. I know I was all over Deebo's line last week. He exceeded the line, but I, of course, pushed it on some alt bets and didn't quite get there on the alt line. But I also posted on Twitter. It was my favorite bet today. Deebo's over. And then I alted and bet Deebo at plus odds. 60 plus receiving yards for Deebo Samuel is, I believe, I don't know what it is now, but before the show, it was like plus 102. So I bet that. And I bet first touchdown, anytime touchdown for Deebo. I like this to be a Deebo game. I'm fully in lockstep with you there, Tyler. I'll go to you guys then. Any final thoughts on this game before we build a same game parlay? We each get to pick a leg. Any final thoughts on this game, Tyler?
Just looking at it, not really. I end up spreads talking the Jalen Hyatt touchdown, wanting to get on the Niners.
Yeah.
Why not just turn it into a same game parlay right off the bat? Hyatt touchdown, 49ers money line 12-1.
I mean, that's great. I got Hyatt anytime touchdown at 8-1 right here. And I was looking up some fun stuff. Tyler, can you help me out here? I don't have a Hyatt receiving yards prop.
Yeah, I didn't see a Hyatt receiving yards prop either. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not the only one there. Talk about how scared they are of McCaffrey liability.
I
was looking this up, Meg. If I giggled during your breakdown, it's because I saw this number. Christian McCaffrey to have a touchdown and SF to win is minus 213.
I know. Yeah, exactly. It's wild. And there's no value on any of that. Yeah, it's so
they just don't want the action. And if they do, they're going to make sure you're a donkey for doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think the lack of Hyatt receiving props has to be with the fact that he's either catching one pass for about 60 yards and a touchdown or all his unders cash.
Okay, we'll put it up. Let us bet it. I don't
I think it's one of those things.
Any more variant than a bunch of this other stuff?
I feel like they just don't want it out there. They're like, it's just such a. There's just one way it happens, one way it doesn't. He's not getting volume.
I was going to say, he's not running a ton of routes. I know that. I just looked that up after the Showdown show. They still don't have a line. I was just double checking.
There's Amari Cooper news, Meg. Amari Cooper officially limited in practice today.
Okay. Yeah. So that definitely would hold me off that. Again, so tempting. You just all season, you're going to see a trend with me wanting to target the Titans pass funnel defense. Whoever's playing the Titans, I'm going to probably bet a receiving line or a receiver touchdown for that game. So that's what I was going. But yeah,
can you help us out? You said it about 10 times. What is the definition of a pass funnel defense?
Pass funnel. So meaning that the run defense is so stout, you're not going to try to run on them. That's why last week Josh Kelly was chalk in DFS.
Okay.
Big mistake. Huge. My favorite line for Pretty Woman, because you can't run on Titans. So then it becomes a pass funnel. It's a pass funnel defense. It can also be run funnel.
Is it something, is
so
that personnel based or is it actually scheme based?
No, it's scheme based. It's like the scheme of
they put 8 in the box a lot?
No, it's the defense. It's just the defense's ranking. It's more personnel, because
okay. So it's not that they're putting 8 in the box every time and wanting you to pass.
Yeah, I don't think it was actually, sometimes it is a little bit of both, because I know the reverse of that is the Chargers. Actually,
I was gonna say, are the Chargers and Packers considered run funnel?
Yes, and Minnesota now. Like, look what DeAndre Swift did the other night.
Yeah.
The Brian Flores has been just saying, "Go ahead," like the Chargers.
Which is funny because with his attitude being old school, I wouldn't see him.
Yeah.
But it just feels like everything is predicated around stop the run with older coaches.
Yeah, but
run the ball, stop the run. Right, that's what anyone over 50 says.
Right, but DeAndre Swift was a perfect example. They just let him get chunk yards after chunk yards, and they didn't want to let the passing game beat him. And I don't know, maybe that was situational, but I know another one, I believe, I don't know if it was the Dolphins, the Chargers, the Vikings. There are a few teams that are kind of, we'll let you have the run. I just
wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes we throw terms around and we forget that maybe some people could be tuning in and making their first bet and they're not.
Right. So there are some run funnel
68 hours a week consuming NFL content like we are, right?
Content, yeah.
I mean, sometimes, boy, I'm just like, I was scrolling The Athletic today and I'm like, boy, I'm hitting the bottom of the barrel when I'm hitting some of these stories, right?
Oh, I know, right?
Because I'm just searching for nuggets and searting for news.
I know friends will be like, "Did you like binge watch this show?" And I'm like, "No, I'm listening to like NFL podcasts every night, like get a life." There can be pass funnel, there can be run funnel. Titans are definitely a pass funnel. Thank you for the Amari Cooper news. Okay, well then that's a fun, because I do love those uncorrelated same game parlays where you take San Francisco's going to win, but this Giants receiver. So I like that. That's 11-1. I'll put that on the sheet. That's a fun one. But let's still do one where we each pick a leg, because that's just fun too. So I'm going to let you guys go first. Spread, why don't you go first? What is your favorite leg for a 3-leg same game parlay?
All right. Well, I swung for the fences, Meg, on the last one.
Yeah.
And, it's funny for a guy, basically makes most of his income gambling. I'm pretty risk averse in general, which is why I think I'm pretty good at this. I rarely do.
Which is why you can make most of your income
for the sake of having it. And in fact, after having so much money on so many of these games, there's a certain joy I've now found in a game where I don't have money and I just watch. Man, like Colorado State last week. Oh,
yeah, that was fun.
That's interesting. But hey, I wasn't living and dying with every play. So here's my chalk for this week. I am going with Nick Bosa to record a sack. Yeah, it's chalky, right? But it's only minus 176. Nick Bosa actually doesn't have a sack yet this season, but he's 9th in the NFL in total pressures. So he's getting there. He's just not getting the sacks. What was my reason for not betting the Giants this week? 2 injured tackles should line up for Nick Bosa to get his first sack since his lucrative contract extension this week. I got it at minus 176. Hopefully you can find it something better. Wow, they changed it to minus 186 after I bet it.
186? Oh, wow.
Because I was going to put it in our parlay now. So
I was going to say,
what I'm starting with, though.
On Same Game Parlay, I'm on FanDuel. Can you parlay the defensive ones on FanDuel?
No, not on FanDuel, and it's not on DraftKings anymore. You used to be able to plug.
You can't put it in there?
Mm-mm.
I was going to say, I think you used to on DraftKings, but you can't. Okay, so we love that's an extra bet. That's an extra prop bet. That's a good extra prop bet.
I like that bet.
I like that bet. I just unfortunately don't think you can put in a defensive one in a same game parlay, which we're just trying to put a fun one together.
Well, I'm going to try and put it together on Bet Online. So what are you guys going to play? And let me see if it's going to let me.
Okay.
What do you want, Meg? Are you on FanDuel or DraftKings?
I'm on FanDuel.
Okay, we'll build it on there then.
You go next, Tyler. I know what I'm going to do, unless you take it, but that's okay if you do.
I want that Debo over 14.5 rushing yards.
Oh, I like it. I like that.
I think he can get that one run, and I think he gets like 4 to 5 runs tonight.
You know who else I think is going to have to run for his life is Daniel Jones. So give me Daniel Jones Let me find it. Well, his over, you could
39
do,
and a half.
yeah, over 39.5 is
But you
Daniel
could do
Jones.
those. I think you could do the alt rushing yards on him.
Yeah, I mean, it's alt 50. I mean, you could. If we want to get wild, alt 50 on FanDuel is plus 154. So I also love, and again, it was my Twitter best bet of the day, but you had said Debo. I wasn't going to do a second Debo one. I like the Debo rushing. I also like the Debo receiving 60 plus. So, but I won't do that in this one. In this group bet, I will do Daniel Jones rushing.
So just for a heads up for our offshore friends, anyone in California or Texas or using these offshores, I was able to put this parlay in on Bet Online, and I got it. It's at plus 475.
Oh, nice.
It's pretty awesome because they're all minus money. Now I had to play Debo at 15 and Daniel Jones at 41. I think you had 39.
Right, 39.
But you know, like you said, we're not these are the small bets, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is 1/8 of what I normally bet, right? An eighth of a unit here, but it's a fun
you're just
parlay at plus 475. And I like those plays. I'm actually going to bet those individually for a lot more.
Yeah. Yep.
How much they're going to let me here
on the sheet. I have probably had the Debo rushing too. We have already had up the Debo receiving and the Daniel Jones rushing. So I also like, I'll just give an extra one. This isn't in our parlay. Also like Slayton. I think Slayton's line is too long. He's getting, of the receivers, he's running the most routes, has the most targets, is a deep threat. Actually 49ers are much stingier against tight ends. I know Waller is like a receiver, but they're much stingier against tight ends than receivers. So yes, I think the big play deep shots are Jalen Hyatt, but the glue guy and the guy who's getting most of the targets is Slayton, and his line is only at, let me quickly find it, 37.5. So, he didn't get there week 1, but he blew past it week 2. So I like that too.
Did you see who's coming back tonight, Meg?
Who?
To further add to the Giants slot confusion, Wan'Dale Robinson could be making his return tonight.
I did see that. I did see he's coming back.
How many times did I pick him? I never picked him on underdog, but he was a 20th rounder.
Did you see who will not be coming back today?
I was going to say, is there any Ayuk news?
No, I was talking more about our guy Clyde's comment, who will not be coming back after today because Diggs' ACL is in too.
How much does that drop? We were talking about the Giants as a historic defense.
Oh, that's
right. Like
that's
one of
terrible.
the best of the past 20 years. Tyler, I know we don't do individual sides of the ball. We just do a team as a whole in our projections. But how much do you drop this Giants defense with him out?
Half a point, if that, not much.
Okay.
It's one of those things. It's one of those things like that. I feel like they could lose Gilmore too. And it's like, oh my God, their corners stink. It's like that quarterback still got to get the ball off when all these guys are chasing after him. And all those guys are still there on the D line. Bro,
those Micah Parsons highlights were stupid.
Yeah. They said, did you see they said he was taking snaps at tight end?
Yeah.
Micah Parsons.
Imagine he chip blocks somebody and runs a route.
Oh my. All right, guys, I think we covered it all. We talked spreads, we talked teasers, we talked totals, we talked props, anytime touchdown. First touchdown for tonight. We gave you 2 same game parlays, some props we like for tonight individually. Go check it all out at fanspeak.com. I'll put it up now just to remind you again. Obviously, like and subscribe, of course. And check out our articles. I'll have the Showdown article up soon. The Showdown show is up on the Fanspeak Network. And go to fanspeak.com and check out the NFL betting card. In an hour or two, have all the bets for tonight. And then by tomorrow, have everything up for Sunday. And we'll make sure you got that. And also check out the NFL Treasure Map. That's these guys' projections and how they got to these bets. So check out the NFL Treasure Map and the NFL betting card on fanspeak.com. Tyler, final thoughts before we get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I think this game we're going to watch tonight, probably pretty boring, probably pretty one-sided. But I think we're going to get some good matchups on Sunday, and I think we found some winners. So lock in those bets, and let's make some more money this week.
That's right. I like it. I think we had a good record last week, and I think we're going to continue it again. I like the direction we're heading. Spread, final thoughts for the people before we get out of here for week 3.
if you open up that treasure map and you say, these guys took a bunch of favorites, they're all square. No, we're just ahead of the market. And hey, maybe we lose every bet this week, right? But the idea here is the books are still afraid of putting up these 7.5s, these 10.5, these bigger numbers that they know the old guys are just going to scoop up instinctively. But in week 5 or 6, that's not going to be the case. You're going to see a lot of underdogs on the card then. So this is just kind of how the market works earlier in the season. Also, week 2, quote unquote, overreaction week. I mean, that's almost dead. That's almost dead because everybody knows about it. That used to be the easiest week of football to bet. It's no longer the case. So this market is constantly evolving. This market is sharp, and I'm happy that we were ahead a bunch of the line moves. We're going to tweet that out to you the second that it's posted from now on, so you can also get involved in these. The 2 that we didn't get them, of course, were the that Commanders total went down 1, and that was some information news.
That's just information.
And what was the other one, Tyler, that the market moved against us here?
It wasn't the Chargers total, no. Was it the Green Bay game?
No, I got it at -1. I can't remember right now. I'm looking at them all.
But the point, good point, though, is check right away.
Yeah, we're going to check right away.
Yeah.
Oh, no, even the lines. I thought the lines was 3.5. No, but I bet it at 3. So, nope, we got them all.
Do you guys have a final thought for Clyde on Notre Dame, Ohio State?
I have no idea.
Clyde, we know where our strengths are, and college betting is not our strength.
I bet on Clemson week 1, and I watched them drive up and down the field just effortlessly, and they fumbled inside the 10-yard line or threw a pick every time inside that red zone. I'm not betting on 6 guys that are going to make the NFL and the rest of the rosters going home after the season. I'll stick to betting the rosters where they're all coming back.
Exactly. We stick to the NFL, stick to the NFL betting. So again, check out that NFL Treasure Map NFL betting card. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And we will see. Good luck week 3. We'll see you next week.